So guys, musicninjamat here, and I've been wondering for a while how to do this video. So where I'm at in this game, I'm actually 96% through. I've completed the story, the side missions, I've just got a couple more unlockables to do. What I thought I'd do is basically just sit, play through the game, mess around, do some free roam, and then just talk through my thoughts on the game. There will be potentially some spoilers in this while I talk about it, so just keep that in mind. It's also important to keep in mind that PlayStations are really loud, so you'll probably hear it screaming at me during this video. We got an armed robbery in place, so it's going to be so difficult to try and actually talk and do this at the same time. Oh, he hasn't noticed me yet. Cool. Been a while since I've actually played this, because I sort of finished through it and I'd been playing it non-stop, and I've been playing FIFA quite a lot. Oh god. Oh, what am I doing? Turn my suit power on. Such a weird camera angle, it's like the blooming Daredevil hallway fights. Oh, I feel so overpowered at this point in the game. I've reached max level, which is level 50. You can still level up, but your level doesn't go up, but you'll get bonuses on your health and melee damage and stuff like that. Yeah, he's fine. Oh wow, cool. So we got all the rewards from that one, which is pretty cool. So I mean, with this game, straight away opening cutscene, this is Spider-Man. The way he acts, the music, it feels perfectly like Spider-Man. The character is just fantastic in this game. And what I like about this, it's set in its own Earth. And so people's origins are different, but I don't mind that because it means you can't spot villains coming a mile away. You don't know who's going to be good, who's going to be bad. Everything is a surprise, and the way characters act is a surprise, and it just makes this game very enjoyable, and they've done such a great job with that. The story itself, it's weird because it starts off very strong, and it does feel at times like it can sort of lag in the middle, mainly because of a lack of boss fights. However, all in all, it's an incredibly emotional story. It all links together. Every character has a purpose, and it's written incredibly well, and by the end I was pulled right back into this story. I mean, all the characters in this game are fantastic. Another thing I really like, so you have landmarks, but there's so many nods to other characters. So there's the Rand Corporation and Elias Investigations, there's Avengers Tower. So Spider-Man really does feel like part of a much bigger universe. Also, all the supporting cast are fantastic. Aunt May is Aunt May. She acts just how Aunt May should. She actually looks slightly younger, which I quite like. And also, she's just a huge emotional part of Peter's life, as she should be. We also, via these research stations, we get messages from Harry, and Harry's got a really amazing arc as well. He's clearly just Peter's best friend. He's got the bad relationship with his father. And there's pretty big reveals about Harry that just really do hit quite hard. Oh god, I am getting very shot up. Turn on the spider powers, definitely. I also really like how you get to play as Mary Jane and you get to play as Miles as well. Their sections are a little bit different. As with Miles, you basically get to hack into stuff and you're very stealthy. Same with MJ, you're very stealthy and she investigates, she collects information. These sections I thought could potentially be boring, but they're not. They're actually really fun to do. This is my favourite version of Mary Jane I've seen in anything, because she's actually a full character rather than just a damsel. And the relationship between Miles and Peter taking him under his wing, it's really good as well. There's also post-credit scenes in this game, which is a nice touch. And what they sort of do is introduce the idea of Miles having spider powers, but also as well we get to see hints at Venom, hints at the Osborns basically having a bigger role. So there's definitely more plans for this universe. Another thing they nailed in this game is the humour. So Spider-Man quips, but sometimes Spider-Man can be too quippy or too moody and serious. It's a fine balance. But there's a whole section which I adore where you have Yuri, who's your cop friend that you converse with throughout the game. She's also a fantastic character. She works with Peter, but you can tell he drives her nuts. But he has this whole gimmick of talking about Spider Cop, and he does this really deep voice, and it's hilarious, and it drives Yuri crazy. And there's a point in the game where she actually joins in with the joke, and it's such a fantastic moment. With the gameplay, I can just say it's like a mixture of almost the Arkham series and Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 is clearly a big point for this game, and you can tell just by looking at this and looking at how smooth everything is. Like, just swinging around is so fun. As you've seen as well with the combat, oh god. The combat is heavily, I would say, very much like the Arkham series as well. But it makes more sense because Spider-Man has spider sense, so the dodging makes sense. But you have a range of gadgets you can tap into as well. So we have the web bomb, trip mine, you've got different kinds of web shooters, you've got your spider drone you can send out. There's just a bunch of fun things that you can do. So like that's what a web bomb does. You can web guys, you can throw things at them. There's just a whole range of things that you can do with the combat. The boss battles start off... oh, that's not good. The boss battles start off kind of feeling like they're going to be like the Arkham thug ones, where you essentially just run around in circles and try and avoid them, but the boss battles get more and more inventive as the game goes on, and they are actually really fun. Throughout the game as well, there's a couple of quick time events. I hate quick time events in games, but these actually do make some sense, which is a really nice change. As you can see there's a guy stuck to the floor now. I said about the web slinging, it is incredibly fun and satisfying, but it can be frustrating at times when you're trying to land, because they stressed the fact that they wanted it to be non-stop, so nothing should get in your way, you shouldn't just awkwardly freeze at any point, but if you're trying to land, you'll just be parkouring around the place, and it can get really frustrating. Another weird thing about the game is, and I've said, a lot of games suffer with this, like Assassin's Creed and Spider-Man 2. There's only so many gameplay mechanics, and because of that, it does get a bit repetitive at times. Not boring, but you're definitely doing the same thing a few times over. You also have a camera mode you can go into. This is used for all sorts, for collecting information, especially when you're Mary Jane. It's also what you use to take pictures of the landmarks. So if we take a look at the map now, it's pretty huge. There's different sections, and in each section you have towers, and it's like in Assassin's Creed. You go to the towers and you have like this mini game where you have to get the right frequency to unlock it, and it unlocks part of the maps for you. So the map is a very decent size, you're able to fast travel, and I thought the fast travelling would be only if you found a subway station, but you can just hold X to fast travel to certain places. One thing that is really useful and makes the game a lot easier and less frustrating is you can just click somewhere like that and it targets it for you, but also the closer you get to that thing, it will literally say how far away you are, so you can really be precise with it. The suits are incredibly customizable, so there's a whole range of suits and you have different tokens you use to unlock the suits. The suit powers as well, there's a whole range of those, and obviously one thing they stated from the start is each suit has a specific power, but you can swap them about, and then you've got all your suit mods, and these really do make a difference depending on what you want to do in the game. You might be fighting a certain boss and you need different suit mods. The gadgets are incredibly fun, especially during stealthier sections, because you will have missions like in Arkham where you're up in the rafters and you're webbing guys and trying to be more stealthy about it. But there are some gadgets even I haven't unlocked yet because I don't have enough tokens for them. But you do have a huge range, and even these have upgrades. You also have your basic skill tree design, and you're gaining skill points every time you level up, and then you spend those. So obviously mine are all completely filled out, but they do different things for you, so they come under the 3 different sections. This is just where your missions would be. There's loads of collectibles, so these are resources. So you have your research stations that you have to do. There's obviously the landmarks I mentioned. You have different bases, so for the demons and for the Kingpin's minions, and you have to basically beat up a bunch of guys. There's different waves of them, and that gets you base tokens. You'll have random crimes that pop up, as you've seen. That's what gets you your crime tokens. The challenge tokens are set by Taskmaster, and there's like time trials, stuff like that for you to do. And it's really cool because Taskmaster will come along and just randomly try and fight you. And the backpack tokens are, you collect backpacks. They're one of the first things you come across, and they're really cool because, again, not only do they have nods to the larger universe, but it basically really shows that you have been Spider-Man for a while, for 8 years, because there's loads of different old Spider-Man tech. There's nods to Spider-Man 2, so there's a picture of you saving somebody's balloon. There's your pizza delivery hat. There's bits from old villains, so there's a lot of backstory just in collecting these. We get our Just the Facts archive, so it's all the different shows that you listen to from J. Jonah Jameson, which are really funny as well. You can collect audio recordings from Otto Octavius that are around and about, and you can also pick up newspapers as well. So just loads of really fun collectibles. The benchmarks I don't really look at. They just seem to pop up. It's just different things from web-slinging and wall running, stuff like that. There's some characters as well on the character profiles, but I don't want to give away loads of spoilers, so I'll skip that. And then obviously you've got your move list, and as you're upgrading yourself, more moves will appear. And the only other thing really to talk about is there's these fun little lab mission mini games that you can play. You'll be able to see them if you YouTube them. Essentially there's 2 different kinds, because one of them is you have to make circuits, but you have to make sure that you have the right voltage going through and that everything can run smoothly. And the other one, you'll have a spectrum with loads of lines on, and you get given different pieces and you've got to match up the lines underneath. But I actually found both of those got quite challenging and were actually quite fun to do. If you click in the right stick, you do a little scan just so you can see what's around the area. You probably saw me do it earlier as well, but if you press down, you'll actually use some of your focus to heal yourself. And focus is very important because it lets you do finishes and it lets you heal. So you got another Just the Facts that pops up.
Spider-Man got it right. Does that mean I was wrong about it? Am I apologizing? Hell no.
So another crime's popped up, but let's go on suits. I mean, we'll stick on the white spider suit, as they call it. Yeah, there's some really awesome suit powers that you can get. It's really weird though, because if you pre-order and you get some of the later suits, some of their powers are really OP, which kind of makes the game quite easy at the start. Oh.
Hey, does this turn into a robot?
Okay. Oh dear. Obviously, as you can see as well, the game just looks gorgeous. Like, it's actually insane how the cutscenes look just as good as general gameplay. But with this game, I adored it. The story is incredible. It really is the best Spider-Man game. It's made by people who understand this character perfectly. I'm very much looking forward to the DLC. I've already actually purchased it. Because the thing is with me, where I'm at with this game now, I don't really want to continue playing this game. Like, once I've done the story and everything, I don't feel drawn to want to just keep playing it. Like, I love the game, don't get me wrong, but there's not a lot of longevity in it for me, so I'm glad the DLC is there to give me some new stuff to do. But yeah, that's bits and pieces about the game, sort of my thoughts on it. But anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, as it really helps the channel out. Check out the links in the description down below.
Repeat, assault reported. Any officers near Midtown North, please copy.
Check out the channel, especially the playlists.
Is this the mosh pit? Great.
And I will see all of you in the next one. I have an awful feeling that Spider-Man may not make it.